Okay, number one went well. This one, which is number two from last time, I did make a little change to how the rhythm looks down here. Usually, when I have the same rhythm played twice through, I will get rid of those tied eighth notes when possible so you can get some practice seeing both ways. So, why is this on the screen again? Because at the faster speeds, yes, it was off. So we want to get some more work done with this. And what I have done is I added drums and bass to the guitar profile, so you can play along with that. See if that helps you get locked into it better. Just remember, like when you're working these things up, like try not thinking of like the 240 as a goal speed. It's just a speed cap. Like you don't need to go past that. And remember, I know we talked about it, but it seems like a good thing to say again. Just as soon as you get to that point where, like, I don't know, seems like things are starting to get kind of off. Like, that was really challenging. That was really difficult. Probably a good idea just to not move on at that point. Just remember, always end with a solid take. Because as soon as you start doubting if you did it, moving on is one of the worst things you can do. Because then you're just, digging the hole deeper and burying yourself in bad habits. So always make sure you're confident before you move on. And also, when you're making the videos and your practice sessions, always end with a good take. So if you get to a point and you're like, yeah, everything was going well, and all of a sudden you go up to 5 BPM and you're like, man, I can't play it anymore. Or I was like, I can't tell what the heck's going on. Drop it down like 10 or 20 beats per minute. Make sure you end with a good take. Even if you have to go even slower, that's fine too. It's just make sure you end with a good take in the videos and your practice sessions, because when it helps me feel more confident about how you feel about things when I see you end with a good take. So always make sure you end with a good take. But yeah, so this drums and bass are programmed in here. The way the drums are programmed, you'll have the kick play every time you strum. So the kick is always playing on what you play. The snare is always playing on the 2 and 4. Kind of gives it that good driving feel to it, where things are moving forward, kind of an upbeat feeling drum beat. And there is a ride cymbal playing on all the downbeats. So there's a crash that starts at the beginning when you come in, as well as at the end. For this one, the bass is kind of mimicking how you're doing your downstrokes and your upstrokes. So it'll play the root note when you're playing a downstroke, and then it'll play the fifth interval when you're playing the upstroke. And then at the very beginning here, you'll see these 3 blank bars. So the drums will play at this part, and the drums will actually play the entire rhythmic pattern. So this way it can help you really lock into what's going on. So I would practice with Guitar Pro a good deal of the time. It's totally fine to go back and forth between Guitar Pro and the metronome. You might even want to have the metronome on with Guitar Pro at some point. But totally fine to leave that metronome off on Guitar Pro and just use the drums. Let's see, as far as, when you make your video next week, you can use Guitar Pro, totally fine. You could try just the metronome again if you're feeling confident with it. Just, again, make sure you end with a good take. So yeah, the drums, bass, whatnot, they're in here to help you get an even more solid understanding and feel for what's going on. So I think I believe you know what to do. It's just when you get to that higher speed, it fell off. So we need to have more control over it. And again, like if you stopped, I don't know, like maybe like 180, even like 160, something like that. But you're like, yeah, after this point, it becomes a mess. So I stopped here because I know I can do it well here. But after this, it gets too off. That's fine. The main thing we want right now is control. The chords are definitely sounding a lot better. Much better job about making sure open strings were not ringing out. So that's sounding a lot better. And yeah, let's get into demonstrating this. I'll go ahead and use Guitar Pro here so you can hear like what it sounds like. And I've changed the tempo in this as we go. That's nice. That's not showing it very well at all. Okay, let's try that again. Hopefully that stays on the screen the way we need it. Move up to 120. Okay, 180. And 240. Okay. Moving on. Put this back down to 60. All right, save that. Number 2. Whoop. We'll get to that in a moment. Change this to that. All right, so this one, same idea, but now this is where things I feel become the most challenging. So we're still counting this as like the 1 and 3, 1 and 3. The drums are still there, bass is here. The bass is just playing the root note the entire time. It's not going between the root and the fifth anymore. So with this, it's definitely, I think, feeling the polymeter because we're still strumming it like the 1 and 3, 1 and 3. So got that 3/4 strumming pattern going. But now we change chords each new bar. So you just got to be careful of when you change the chords. So when I'm playing this, one thing I'll do is, no wait, I'm about to think of a different rhythm. Never mind. I was thinking of something else. So yeah, counting through like the 1 and 3. So you got the 1 and 3. And then in the middle of this one, 1 and 3. So you change on the and here. So basically think of it like the upbeat of 2 when you look at it as the 3/4 time signature. That's when you change chords on the upbeat of 2. And then you'll play or change chords on the downbeat of 3. So you're going to go 1 and 3. So start off, nothing changes yet. We'll have the first chord change happen on the upbeat of 2 as we're going to count it. And then the next chord change that's going to happen as we are counting this will happen on the downbeat of 3. And then when it starts the second half, it will have the next chord change on the downbeat of 1, then the upbeat of 2 again, downbeat of 3, and then downbeat of 1, another chord change. So it kind of like shifts over when you have the chord changes. So we're starting, obviously, with beat number 1, the first chord. The second chord comes in on the second beat, although in this case, the upbeat of 2. The third chord will come in on a downbeat of 3. And then next chord, downbeat of 1. Next chord, upbeat of 2. And then next chord, 3. And then last chord, downbeat of 1. So it kind of keeps shifting, like the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I think that's kind of neat how that works out. Musical math. Yeah, just keep counting it as that 1 and 3. I think that's going to help simplify it. So this way you're like locked into something you're familiar with. But let's go ahead and play. Yeah, I'm contemplating if I should do the metronome on this one. I'll just do the metronome this time. But you go ahead, keep using Guitar Pro to help out as much as you need it. But let's demonstrate this one with just the metronome. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 3, 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 done. 120, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 3, 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 done. Okay, 180, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Chord stuff. Oh, that went well. I was going to offer another idea for the C Ionian. Yeah, I hate playing that shape. I don't like playing that one. I don't like really playing this one either. So I didn't say anything about using an alternate shape when you first sent it in because I thought, well, it's not a bad choice going that route. It actually is a really very good choice. Just one of those things. Let's just see how it works because who knows? Maybe you did really like those shapes. So the way I would approach this. It's kind of similar to how you started. So yeah, I like using this shape for the major chord, starting here. And yeah, going into that G here. But then I would go to this A minor. And then keep up with that D minor. So you're still following that kind of route there. So nice and close. And then here, you're just taking your ring finger, sliding that down to the D note. Whoop. Because like going up here, you can, but then you got all this room to jump from here to here. I feel like that's more work than needed. So that's my suggestion. It sounded fine what you played. But yeah, that's my suggestion. Go this route, or start with that C, and then go to this G. Good Lord. And then this A minor to this D minor. Back to that C, this G, this A minor, D minor, like that. Oof. This guitar is so sensitive to how pressure is. The action is really low on this thing. It's nice, but it's sensitive. Anyway, so yeah, I would try that instead. Everything else sounded good. So next key, same idea. Let's see, some of this is cut off. Hold on. Will it look better on this? No. I'll just have to do it like this. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, going to start with the low B string this time. So basically we're doing the same progressions again, but in a different key, starting on different strings. So this way you get more experience with these chord shapes just all over the fretboard. Same deal, chord names, mode names, and yeah, once you got this filled in, send it on over. I'll check it out as soon as I can. And I think that does it. All right, any questions come up, let me know. I'll see you again in your new videos.